Yo, what's up guys? This is James bringing you another deck profile here for the Menards Club YouTube.com. Today we're going to be going over my mono yellow Turles deck. I've been working on this one quite a bit, tweaking the numbers, trying to get it down to a good deck size with enough synergy, get all the right ratios and stuff, and I think I finally hit a point where I feel comfortable sharing my list and sharing it with you guys, so if you guys can get started building your own version of the deck, if you guys have any cool suggestions or any cool tech you've been trying out with this leader, let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you guys and hear what your thoughts are on the leader. And before I get into the video, just a reminder to please hit the subscribe button if you're new and like the video. It really helps us out a lot. You can see more cool Dragon Ball Super content like this, box breaks, deck profiles, locals gameplay, all kinds of cool stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So the biggest draw to this leader is he has a auto. When he's placed in your leader area, you get to place this Tree of Might Divine Roots Unison from your deck into play with 2 markers on it. This is a huge boon for Turles compared to a lot of other yellow leaders because frankly most of yellow's unisons kind of suck, but there are some good payoffs to having unisons in play in yellow. So just being able to start with one in play and not having to commit energy is really, really good. Or I shouldn't say they suck, but there aren't any like really strong generic cheap ones. Most of them the good ones start at about 3 energy. So it's hard to find room in the curve with when yellow has a lot of good heavy hitters in the middle part of the curve as well. So this is kind of, but this has been the biggest draw for me to this deck, is just starting with this Unison in play. He also has a bit of a cool engine where he can play cards for free from his life by comboing them, which is kind of reminiscent of King Piccolo, but it's kind of like the worst version of King Piccolo you could possibly design. It's nowhere near as good. The cards aren't like free, you get to cast them for free, but you're not getting actual free cards. You can only do it on your own turn and only when your leader attacks too. So it's not super crazy, but it's mostly the tree. The tree is like the star of the show here, I think. So he starts with the tree and play with 2 markers on it. When he attacks, he draws 1. He awakens when you have 4 or less life, or if you have 3 or more life face up. So it's really easy to hit that 3 life threshold to just awaken early if your opponent isn't attacking you, which is really nice because you're going to attack your tree a good amount of the time. On the backside, he's got an on attack, draw 1. Then he can activate battle once per turn, spirit boost 1 for a yellow, choose 1. If you have 2 or more life face up, he gets plus 10k power for the battle. Very strong energy sink if you just have nothing else to spend your energy on. It's just like a free 10k combo essentially. You have to pay for it, but hey, you're not actually investing cards, which is just huge pressure in the late game. Or you can also activate a Fruit of the Tree of Might, which is the old one from set 12, without paying its activates battle cost skills. Which essentially just gets around the whole flipping your opponent's life face down and having to pay green for it. So it just turns it into a super chompa. The tree can't attack, it's a 16k. It starts with 2 markers. It has an auto. If your leader card's a yellow Turles Crusher Core, when your leader attacks, you can choose 1 Turles Crusher Core card from your hand and add it to your life face up. If you do use 1 face up Turles Crusher Core card from your life in a combo. Can't speak today. So that will combo with your dudes in the core that all say they get to be played for free when you combo with your when you combo them from your life. He has an auto +1. Your leader's a yellow Turles Crusher Core. At the start of your opponent's turn, flip up to 1 card in your life face up. So this triggers at the start of their turn. He just gets a marker every turn, and then you flip a life face up, so you can help fish for some of your guys as well as get your life set up for your free awakening. And then you can also activate main -2, add it to 1 extra card with an energy cost of 1, and Tree of Might in its card name from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So we're going to be using this to find the Fruit of the Tree of Might for our kill shot at the end of the game. Alright, so let's get into the battle cards. That's the gist of the deck though. You start with a tree and you can play some battle cards for free over the course of the game. We'll start with the Turles Crusher Core. I'm only playing 12. I pared it down. I was started with 16, I think, before, because I was playing the Cacao, but I ended up cutting it. So we've got 4 of the Locacy power of the tree and 4 of the Raisin power of the tree. These are our Nut Brothers. They're both extremely strong and the best ones to be putting into play. I like to put these into play early and often. So they both have the same auto. If your leader's a yellow Turles Crusher Core, at the end of a battle in which this card was used in a combo from your life, play this card from your drop area, and this one plays in rest mode, this one doesn't. And then they have a limit 1 when it's played. you get to play the other one from your deck. Raisin's a blocker, and he comes into play in active mode. Lockacy is a Self-Awakener. He lets you take a life on play, and comes into play in rest mode, but he's still a free 5k combo power. He usually gets eaten up on your opponent's turn, but, you know, sometimes he lives and you get a free 10k or 5k combo power, plus you get to take a life for free. Very strong. You just get a lot of free fodder and just dudes in play, which is super cool. And we've got 4 Almond Power of the Tree. This guy is pretty good. He's a 15k that you can play for free out of your life, so just have free 15k beater, super cool. And then you can Spirit Boost 1 when he's played. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less in rest mode and KO it. So this is some decent like board control. There's a good amount of decks that want to keep like little kind of guys in play, and we're yellow, so we can switch their important cards to rest mode if we need to as well. Mostly just playing him as a 15k beater. Not playing Cacao, like I said, because he can add a marker to your tree, but I didn't think it was that important, and I was trying to pare the deck down below. I had it at like 56 cards for the longest time, and it just felt like too many cards, and I just cut it, and the 12-card engine's been really consistent. You just want to mull to make sure you have one of these in your opening hand, and then you generally can start finding the rest between your tree flipping a life face up, and these guys just kind of finding a decent amount of cards. And then I lied, we do have a 13th card, 1 copy of Dai's Power of the Tree. This guy is a barrier. If he's in rest mode, your opponent can't attack your tree. He doesn't have the combo into play ability for some reason. Seems really weird they kind of omitted it from this dude, but whatever. Then you can activate main, limit 1, pay a yellow. If your leader is a Turles Crusher core card, play this card from your hand, then play it to 1 Tree of Might Divine Roots from your deck or drop area with a marker on it and shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this is just the kind of the oh crap button. If they kill your tree through combat, you can get it back with this guy, so you're not completely dead in the water. We only play the 1 copy of tree, so we, you know, it's pretty hard for them to kill the tree, especially with the defensive measures we have set up in the deck, but, you know, we do want to keep it in play as best we can, so we just have the 1 dies. If you notice people going after your tree and, like, killing it more, you can play more copies of dies and maybe, like, an extra tree even in your deck if you wanted. I was messing around with that, but, yeah, like I said, I ended up paring that down. Okay, so now we're going to get into the, kind of the tech of the deck, which is, when I was playing the deck before, I realized that you get a lot of battle cards for free, but you end up not using your energy on turn 1 and turn 2 all that effectively, at least with the build I was originally using, which felt like kind of a waste because, yeah, you're getting battle cards for free, but if you're not using your energy on those turns anyway, then it's like kind of what's the point? So I wanted to make sure I had a good amount of energy sinks early. So that's why I landed on this card here, Exceptional Ability Pan. This is an uncommon from set 11. It's just a 1 energy blocker, and then auto, if you have a yellow unison in play, when this card's played, you draw 1. So normally you have to establish a unison and then play this, and then you get to draw 1 and she's a blocker, but we start with a unison in play. Which makes this card extremely good because it lets you just play her, draw a card, and then you get a blocker in play to help keep your tree in play. If they're aggroing it down, or if they're just going at your face, or you just have a blocker for later. Really, really cool card. I think this card's really good in this deck, and the fact that she just 1 energy replaces herself is extremely important. Just keeps your card economy up. Really good. Then we have 2 copies of Basil, Fatal Rampage, just the classic yellow 1-drop. This is another just great, you know, come into play, draw a card, sits in play, accrues value. Really good. And then we have some cards to go with this card later on, which is why we only played 2 of them. That's kind of my, like, spice, I guess, for the list. Then we can get into some of the more normal yellow stuff. We'll just start with our super combo. It's just 4 Krillin. It's Krillin. It's really good. We can get ourselves down to 4, even if they're attacking with, like, our Lockacies. We can at least try and pare our life down a little bit to help turn this card on. And this card's really, really, really good in this deck because you can put your fruit back in your deck, and you can put your nut boys back into your deck to then grab out of your deck later. And we also have another card that we can... There's a lot of stuff we want in our deck, so this just being able to put it back to get extra value, super clutch. Best super combo for the deck, easily. We've got our classic extra card engine, 3 Robotic Riposte, 3 Son Goku Steadfast Assistance. They're both just really good. Son Goku is another thing you can do with your energy fairly early. Same with Riposte, especially with the amount of extra cards we're playing in this build. I like to keep it around 10 or 11 to make sure that these are online as fast as possible, because especially the Mecha Frieza, you want really early online in the matchups you want it. So, yeah, really strong cards just overall, and great energy sinks for early in the game. We've got 3 Vegeta Prideful Transformation, because we start with a free Unison in play. This can help us keep it on the table for a turn or two to make sure that it can accrue some markers and stay in play. 3 Turles, all too easy. Really easy, really good card. We're a yellow Saiyan Leader, of course we're playing it. Plus it's a Crusher Core card, so you can technically add it to your life and play a different Crusher Core card from your life with your tree, if that ends up being a circumstance you end yourself in, which it doesn't not come up. It's not your plan A, but I'm not going to complain about having extra uses. Son Goku, Return of the Dragon Fist. I thought about putting a third one of this in. I'm just at 2 right now. You generally see it whenever I need it, especially with the extra life manipulation you get off of your tree. You can like kind of take it out of your life if you see it whenever it's applicable. Obviously a crazy good card, and I think this is like one of the best payoffs for the deck because, again, we start with the Unison in play, and we don't have to really jump through any hoops other than just keeping our Unison alive in order to play this guy out, and he's just a crazy bomb. We got a couple of one-ups here. We got our Cooler to stop like baby hatches and stuff. You gotta play the Cooler. 1 Secret ID because we're yellow. You can play Fighting Against Fate if you want. And then we got the Secret Rare. I'm using Pan, Time Patrol Maiden. You can kind of use whatever you want. But I think Pan's just kind of cracked and I have a copy of her, so that's what we're playing. And we play to the board super easy. We can get this online on turn 3 ourselves between our Lacases and our Pans. So yeah, that's our kind of generic battle card lineup, and then we'll just get into the last part of the deck here, which will be the extra cards. Started off pretty easy here. 4 copies of Power of a Super Saiyan. I think you have to play 4 when you're playing like the Mecha Freezes and the Goku and stuff, because the worst case scenario you can just like kind of cycle it, draw a new card, and it gets in the graveyard to set up your guys really easily. You gotta play 4. It's just too good. 2 Final Flash. It's just a solid card. I was playing 1. You can kind of play around with the number on the extra cards. They're kind of whatever. They're just kind of season to taste kind of part of the deck. I've got 2 copies of Universe 9 Assemble. I've been fluctuating between like 2 and 4. You can mess around with whatever ratios you like. I was even playing like a Chiphill the Iron Drake for a little bit in this build. Just as an extra target, but I didn't like how clunky this card could be. It is really good on turn 2 against a lot of opponents, especially since it's an activate main / battle, so even if they're leaving up like, Zamasu the Eliminator or something, you can like just kind of pass and then do this on your own turn, or on their turn, which is cool. Yeah, really solid. It can get you like +4 if you tutor the Basil out with it. It's just a really good energy sink, and it's an extra card to help buff our count up a little bit, because we don't have any like good in-archetype extra cards in the Turles Crusher Core archetype. Then we got 1 Forbidden Power and 1 Frieza Army Reinforcements. These are just kind of ratios that I like mess around with. You kind of, like I said, you want to just end up with about 10 or so extra cards. 2, 4, so yeah, I got 10 right now in your deck, around 50 to 53 cards, I think, just to make sure those ratios are staying online for you, to make sure your cards are as cheap as possible. And these are just generically useful, but situational cards, so I'm just playing 1 of each. Then we got our 1 copy of Fruit of the Tree of Might. This is the tutor target. I'm not playing any Champa in the deck right now. It was really hard, but I had to make the pair downs, and I cut the Champa. I cut the Bergamo too, because I felt like the Bergamo just didn't come up that much, honestly. Which again, you can play those cards if you really like them. Fruit might be a little bit win more, but I just like that it's a free card you can tutor off of your tree. It's more telegraphed than Champa, obviously, but with so many answers to like battle cards and stuff mid-combat, it's really hard to want to go all in on something like a Champa anyway on a non-leader. And your Unison can't attack, so it's kind of like you might as well have the Super Champa that you can activate for free, and pick up out of your deck for free. You still have to pay 1 and Spirit Boost 1 to activate this, but it's just huge Super Champa, right? But yeah, that's the deck, guys. It's been running super smooth. I've been tweaking it a lot for the past couple of weeks, like right before we left for Nats, and then right after coming back from Nats. This has just been like my pet project. It's been running super well. It's kind of like Icarus, but instead of having like massive card advantage, instead you just get like some free bodies and you get to start with the Unison in play. If you like interactive yellow decks, this is definitely one you want to try out, and I think you might be surprised with how good it actually is. I think it's not bad. It's definitely not a bad deck. So thanks for checking us out, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit the like button. Hit us up in the comment section if you've got any other cool tech to try out in the deck, or any other sweet ratios and stuff you've been trying out with the leader, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.